Yo, 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 welcome back, man, to another episode of the City of Savages podcast. It's your host, Greg, man, and I got, as always, my co-host with me, man. What's up, Cam?
Yo, what's good, G?
Can't call it, man. Another day, another dollar, bro.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Same. Another day.
Facts. And today, man, we have a very special guest, man. Not only, somebody that I look up to, and inspired by, but also a good friend, man. We got Omar Carter with us in the house. Talk about the Omar Carter Foundation, bro. What's good?
Yes,
What's up,
sir.
man? What's up, family? It's good to be here for sure. Definitely excited to be here. I always wanted to be on one of these, so I appreciate you having me.
Hey, man, it's our pleasure, man. We looking
For
forward to
sure.
it, bro.
For sure, man. Happy to have you on, dog. So it's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna get to it.
All right.
Word up. So, man, we just gonna jump right into this thing. So, first of all, thank you again, and welcome to the show, man. So, first of all, to our listeners out there, man, let us know a little bit about yourself, man. Where you, who you are, and basically where you're from, and what you do, man.
Yeah, so I grew up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's what's the saying? I think it's not where you're born, where you're from. Born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Been in Charlotte pretty much 30 years. I'm 33 now, so I consider myself a Charlottean.
Okay.
Um, and like I said, it's been elementary, middle, high school, and now I'm here talking with you guys. Just
Yeah.
got married
Congrats.
March 27th. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And a month before that, February 26th, we closed on our home.
Oh, that's what's
So
up. Big stuff.
I,
Man.
I appreciate it. So
That's dope, man.
I appreciate it. So it's one of those things where, the pandemic actually blessed us in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The world was shut down, but, the Lord came through and we found a way to share our love with the public, if you will. It was a
Yeah.
small wedding, but, we made it happen. And then, of course, I don't know how we did it, but we came up a little bit of change to, for this down payment on the house. So,
Yeah.
it's been a blessing, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
It's been a blessing. I'm excited, like I said, to be here, talk with you guys. But yeah,
All right. That's what's up, man. Hey, congratulations on all that. That's big, man. That
That's
y'all
big time.
married, got the crib. That's dope, man. Before we started recording, I was just talking about me I'm looking for a crib. I'm looking to move to Savannah. I'm in Columbia now. I'm looking to move to Savannah. So I gotta sell my house here and then find a house there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a process, man. So when I bought this house, I moved from an apartment. So that was an easy transition. Move from apartment, you get your house. As long as you got the loan, you good to go. Just make your offers, boom, boom, boom. But when you got to sell your house and then buy the other house, that's a whole different process, man. So
I don't like the process. I hate. If I could choose another way, which there's no other way to buy a home, I would not. Like, if my wife is here, she'll tell you I was stressing. I just don't understand why you have to ask for my whole life, like everything.
Everything.
So, many blessings to you to go through the process again, for real.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tell us about, what we came to talk mainly about the Omar Carter Foundation, man. So tell us a little bit more about that and, how did that come about?
Sure, man. So it was a journey. I'll start from the beginning. So I'm a former professional athlete. I just speak as if nobody knows who I am, which a lot of your viewers probably don't. So probably when I was 16 years old, I told my mother, look, I don't know if it was pain in my chest or my arm. It had nothing to do, we found out, with my heart. And, being the awesome mom that she is, she actually took me to the doctor and I went to the cardiologist, the heart doctor. And, just to put some context into it, it was like a strained muscle that happened. I think I was in there trying to do some push-ups at 16. And so when they did the EKG, they found that it was a little abnormal, which is, pretty common.
Right.
And so right after the EKG, they say, look, it's probably nothing. Let's just continue to do tests. So probably for about 3 months, I had to go back and forth to the cardiologist. right? So I was getting EKGs, ultrasounds, cardiac MRIs, you name it. And, you know, it was the original doctor I was with, he just scared me as a 16-year-old. He had, you know, respectfully, no bedside manner at all. He, you know, he had the straight face like this, like, you're going to die. And I'm like, I said, Mom, give me somebody else. Like, I need.
Exactly.
You know, so no, all jokes aside, you know, finally we came back, and I have what's called an athlete's heart. And yeah, like I said, speak plainly, most individuals have it. And when I say most individual athletes, so a lot of athletes, you know, I'm 6'5", so if you know 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", you could be a little bit shorter, whatever the case may be. Athletes' hearts is normal, or common, I should say. And so as we started doing more tests, my heart muscle is at the time was 1.6 thickness centimeters. I don't know what the correct whatever is, but 1.9, I think the 2, if I'm not mistaken, was what they call hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And basically that means you have a higher chance of having sudden death. Wow. And so athlete's heart, what I always had was, I had the check marks of, you know, athlete's heart. And then on the other side, they say, okay, your heart muscle's thick, you know, you're not fainting, you're not passing out, you're not doing any of that, you know, but there's a couple of checks over here for the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And so, you know, a team of doctors here, which are pretty good, they sent me to Boston, which was a guy by the name of Baron Marin. So he was arguably, and may very well still be, the best sports cardiologist in the nation. So I actually went to see his son, and I'm going to butcher his name. It was Martin Marin or Marty Marin. I can't remember, but respect to him. I went to see him, and I did a stress test, which is basically the treadmill, and I'm running and I'm doing EKGs, ultrasounds, and they're like, look, you know, we concur with your doctors, you know, go ahead and play. Right. And, you know, his father's one of the best sports cardiologists. So, you know, we're going back and forth and everything. So 10 years passed and I'm fine. You know, it still comes up when I get my physical. So I had to go through a more extensive physical process. Right. And then, like I said, 10 years later, went to CSU, where I met you guys, honestly. Yeah. And then Appalachian State, played professionally in Brazil, in Dominican Republic, had a couple of workouts behind the scenes with my agent. And then July 9th, 2013, I just got back from Dominican Republic, which everything we talk about today, you know, it's nothing but the Lord, but the thing was a Tuesday, but July 9th, which is actually my wife's birthday, and I got a story for that as well. I was on the court. So I passed it to my friend. He passed it back to me, and then I collapsed. And so when I collapsed, I ICU cardiac nurse just so happened to be at the game. And it was probably, I don't know, 50 to 100, I can't remember, people there. And I was told they gathered around me, pretty much said, you know, don't touch him. Now, mind you, a week before that, we had another individual, actually an older gentleman, die from cardiac arrest, or he dropped. So I want to say a day before that game, or that game, we did like a whole, like, you know, moment of silence and everything like that. And I'm
just somebody on the team.
It was a coach.
Oh, wow.
It was actually a coach that passed. And I remember walking in the gym and talking to the sheriff, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like he didn't make it." And so, like I said, it passed back to me, and then I dropped, and so it was hot. So I'm pretty sure I go to show you guys play sports. Usually in the gym, you know, if it's not a normal school year or whatever, they're not going to have the air conditioning on. So they thought I failed. Right. Long story less long. At the time, I didn't know my wife or her mother, but they were both at the game, or her mom was at the game. Her mom started doing compressions, and then the ICU cardiac nurse by the name of Kelly Thomas took over. Got the AED machine. The AED machine was upstairs in the locked closet behind the door. And I was shocked 3 times, and then I slipped into a coma. By the time the ambulance got there, I slipped into a coma and was taken to the hospital. And I'm here talking with you today after that. And so I found out later that 90% of people that have out of hospital cardiac arrest don't survive.
Wow.
So the fact that I dropped, I'm already in the 10 percentile.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you know, my heart stopped for 13 minutes. So, you know,
Wow.
I'm already like, my chances of survival are already dwindling down.
Right.
Yeah.
So I woke up, it was like it never happened. And, you know, then that's when the Omar Carter Foundation was born. So.
Wow.
Yo,
Man,
bro.
that's crazy.
My bad, Cam. I was just gonna say,
Not
man.
good.
I mean, I've heard this story. I've heard you tell it, you know, several times because I've, and we'll get into it later, man. But you know, I've heard you tell this story over and over again. But each time you tell it, man, it still sends chills, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Just for you to be, you know, it's like, and I can never hear you talk about it because, you know, not hear you talk about it because every time you mention it, I'm just like, wow, you know, it's God, bro. That's all you can really say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, that's my first time hearing the story, man. And you know, I didn't know that you know, about you that happened. So that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So how long were you in a coma? Like, how long did that last?
Yeah, good question. So and this is what I was told. So I got a chance to meet the EMS professional that actually took care of me that day. And this was when I met him last year, the year before last. It was I think 6 years ago. So he's been in it for 6 years. He was 2 weeks on the job when when they got me off of the ambulance. So he told me when I was in the ambulance, I was pretty much out of it. Right. He was like, we put the air conditioning on full blast. It was probably a needle like that thick that they put all the way down to my bone to start pumping what they call saline. Not saline, but it was some type of coolant. I'm not sure. I'm not going to even try to get killed, you know, for saying anything.
Right.
They put some in my body to start the process of what they call cold cool. Okay. So they warm your body. I mean, they cool your body down to give you a better chance. So in the ambulance, they started that process. And one thing that got me was he said my body like jerked like that. And usually when your body jerks, you have a lot of swelling on your brain. So he initially, from his training, like and everything, he didn't think I was going to make it. He was like, you know, usually when that happens, they're gone. So to answer your question, I slipped into a coma. Arguably, I've been told on the court, like when the ambulance came.
Right.
And then I was told I slipped into a coma when I was taken into the hospital. Now, my brother said he remembers going into the emergency room or them willing in and like them, like, you know, he just seen it was like dramatics of them like doing compressions.
Yeah.
So they think I flatlined again. And then they put me in what's called a medically induced coma to pretty much, you know, help with your body to recover and everything like that. So I think it was 24 to 48 hours. And I already told you the percentage of me, you know, surviving. And then I think they told I know they told my mother and my father, you know, my mother and my brother and everybody else that came, you know, it's pretty much 50-50. Like it's up in the air. Yeah. So I think July 11th or 12th, something like that, they begin warming my body back up. And yeah, man, I'm gonna continue to say this, so I'm not gonna keep apologizing, but it's the Lord. The Lord had his hands on me.
Please don't, bro. Like that's, I mean, it's nothing but a testimony. And, you know, it's like, you know, like I said, again, I've heard it over and over again, and I won't ever get tired of hearing you talk about it because it's just like, you know, it's amazing what God can bring you out of. Like there's no other explanation. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
that's amazing, man. That's amazing. It's a blessing that you're here, bro, because, you know, in that type of situation, just outside of the condition itself, you know, there's so much other things that could happen with your body with between that time of you going down and then being transported to the hospital, you know, all that stuff. So definitely a blessing. All right. So, you know, you had been battling these issues with your heart. Comes down to this, I guess, culminating event, I would say. Did you play again after that, or was that pretty much the end of that?
It was in. When I was in the hospital, I asked the question, So I'll take you back. Funny, I guess funny thing happened. I was partying hard. Like, as an athlete, I'm partying.
Young guy, of course, overseas.
I can't remember. I don't know if Greg, Cam, I know you're not here, but Greg, I don't know if you remember you in Charlotte. I don't know how long you've been in Charlotte. But Republic and Swede and all those places.
Yeah, I remember them.
So Wednesday was Republic.
Yep. I remember that.
Thursday was Stash House. Friday was, I think, Swede.
Yeah.
And
Republic was off of College Street then, right? Wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah, Bar Charlotte, all of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm saying that to say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we had our, and so I think I went, matter of fact, I remember now I went down on Tuesday. I woke up on Thursday. And I woke up and I'm like, what day is it?
Right.
And they're like, it's Thursday. And I immediately said, damn, we missed Republic. Like, what's up? Like, and so everybody knew I'm there. They knew, and so that process began.
That's funny.
Or began of like, me. Am I paralyzed? Am I, do I remember everybody's name and everything like that? So I can't remember. Did I ask you a question? I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Yeah. Dang, what was my question? Oh, no, you asked my question. You said I asked you if you had played again after that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. Yeah. And so basically, when all of that happened, I kept asking the question as well. Can I play? Yeah. Can I play? Can I play? And I just came to the realization of I don't want to play anymore. Like, there's individuals that have cardiac arrest and ICDs or internal defibrillators. So you have pacemakers that pretty much go in the vein and they help your heart pump and the rhythm of it. And then you have ones that are under the skin that, if I were to go into cardiac arrest or I have a certain amount of arrhythmia and my heart goes too high, beating too fast, it shocks me. And so all that to say, there's people that there's a famous Boston Marathon runner. There's a couple of basketball players, soccer players.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to deal with it, honestly. So
yeah. So you don't have any devices in you, or you do?
I have the under the skin one.
You got the under. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's the ICD. I get it. You get it changed. I just got to change that after 5 years.
Okay.
And honestly, the doctor said, you can use it again, or they said you can't. You'll never use it ever in life. But it's an insurance policy.
Yeah.
So instead of that ICU cardiac nurse coming to the game, or being at a game, or relying on somebody to do CPR, unless it failed, it would just shock me.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
And then I would be able to, go on with my life, or if I wanted to go to the doctor and something was wrong, I would go to the doctor. So
yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so that actually happened, and you were in Charlotte when that happened.
I was in Charlotte. Yep. Okay. I was at the Grady Cole Center.
Okay.
It was so it was a local program. I'm sorry, I didn't give any context of where I was at. It was a local program. So when I got back from Dominican Republic, they have programs pretty much where you can go, stay in shape, go and get some best talent instead of finding a park or, a local gym. Nothing wrong with that. But this is more of organized, which is pretty cool. So I was at the Grady Cole Center.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was thinking, because I know you said you had just gotten back from the Dominican Republic. So I was thinking, still thinking in my head that you were in the Dominican Republic when that happened. Okay, so that makes more sense now. You were here in Charlotte, or you there in Charlotte. So, okay, cool. So, I got a couple other questions about that night and some of the things you said. But before we do that, I do want to ask. So, based on your story there, what do you do, or what does the Omar Carter Foundation do now?
Sure. So I mentioned before that it was probably 50 to 100 people at the game. And the ICU cardiac nurse was the only one who touched me, right? And what I found with the foundation after 6 years is, either they're scared, they think it's some type of liability, or they don't know how to do it at all. And so all that to say, we started the Omar Carter Foundation to teach CPR and AED awareness, to the community. And so our goals are threefold. And it's one, to teach 1 million people, and that's bystander CPR. And the difference between bystander CPR and the certification is in my opinion, you just don't get the card, right? You don't have to sit through however long it is, an hour, 3 hours, they vary.
Yeah.
Where the bystander CPR is just that. Like I teach, let's say we're on here because of COVID, and I teach you all the techniques that you need to go save a life. And so that's the piece, the bystander piece. And then the AED awareness piece. So a lot of individuals don't know what an AED is. It's big. Some of them are small. They're intimidating.
Yeah.
And it's basically where, you put the pads on your body. They shock you. They shock your heart back into place. You'll see them. It says AED on it with a lightning bolt or over them or under them. They're not in a lot of public places, but they are. So we teach that piece, how to use them, where you can get them. We actually donate AEDs. We have 5 major device clinics that we work with. Yeah. So that's our second goal. And then the third one is me just pretty much going and speaking with you. So building some type of community where if you're nervous, if you lost a loved one, if you've experienced sudden cardiac arrest, whatever the case may be, you have, pretty much a young individual who played at all levels of sports. But not only can I appeal to the athlete or young athlete, I also appeal to just the average everyday person. Right. So I've talked with athletes, I've talked with people that had a cardiac arrest, I've talked with individuals that just have an ICD like I have. Okay. So the foundation was started to pretty much give that awareness piece. Yeah. We found that a lot of individuals, as I mentioned, know nothing about it. But we also teach the other side of that as well. So, if I want to know what the difference between a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, anything you may. So what we found too is you may just have health questions. Right. So what is a heart attack? What is a sudden cardiac arrest? What's my blood pressure supposed to be? We open that avenue for any and everything. If we don't have it, those resources, we can connect you to it. And then over the pandemic, the last thing I'll say is we were trying to find ways, just, the foundation is a business, right? Just to speak plainly. Yeah. So we're trying to find ways and be sensitive to not ask individuals or private donors for money. I mean, we're still going to do that because but we still wanted to be, cognitive of that's exactly, what we're not trying to do. Right. So we also feed meals to low-income communities. Okay. And the reason we did that was because, yes, we're teaching what happens after the fact, right? So if you have a cardiac arrest, all of this helpful information is what happens after the fact. Well, how can we bring it back, I guess, in a holistic approach of, you eat this healthy food, you check your blood pressure, you go to the doctor, so on and so forth. And mostly, just to speak plainly, the Black and brown communities, it's us that lack resources. It's us that lack, individuals that even want to come in and teach you anything when it comes to healthcare, period. Yeah. So we teach, and it was another way for us to get our programs into the community. So it's a USDA-backed program. We feed these healthy meals. And when I say healthy, it's a guidelines that the USDA brings out. So we're not just feeding you hot dogs and turkey sandwiches, right? There's, you have to have, wheat in your diet. You have to have certain milks and juices. We can't give you canned sodas, stuff like that. Yeah. And so, that's pretty much what the foundation does. That's why we started, and the sky's the limit, so.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man, that's dope, man. Like, and especially, like I said, I mean, that last part, just giving meals back to the community, man. Like, it just, again, I think, it just goes to show, not to be cheesy or anything, but where your heart is, right? Literally, like, just trying to make sure, just to make sure everybody good, man. But I do have one question for you, man. Between the time July 11th and from the time that the foundation was started, what made you say, okay, the Omar Carter Foundation needs to happen? Like, when did you, from the time that you woke up, you said this needs to happen? You know what I'm saying? When did you decide that? Because obviously it was because you not enough people know the difference between a cardiac arrest and a heart attack, or not enough people are trained on, being able to give, efficient CPR. So when did you decide this needs to happen? Like, when did that happen?
Honestly, I can't take all the credit. It was my mom. So mom, there was a piece. I think I left the hospital, I don't know, like the I can't remember the exact day, but it was about a week after. And I literally sat at the edge of my bed for a while. And of course, anything that life altering event like that happens, you're going to just kind of be out of it.
Right.
And anybody that knows my mom knows she does not hold her tongue and she's not a loss for words. And so she just said, she started sending me pictures. So one of my mentors, cardiologists, therapists, advisors, you name it, is Dr. Mehta. So his name is Rohit Mehta, and he's a cardiologist, electrophysiologist, from Atrium Health. And so he was already, again, this is how the Lord works. He was already doing what was called walk with a doc, and basically teaching CPR to just the public. And so my mom, I don't know how, my mom is a hustler. She is one of those people that like connects individuals. So she found them and started sending me pictures and like, hey, you should start a foundation to give back to what you went through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not doing this, Mom. Like, I just got out of a coma. Like, come on.
Right. Like,
I ain't, and
like,
so
I need a minute.
Exactly. Like, I don't know, basketball is my first love. So that's how it was started. My mom planted the seed. The more I got him, and then it was Dr. Mehta, who's pretty much had a lot in it. And then my brother, believe it or not, my brother said, as far as the direction the foundation went in, like how we were marketing it and stuff. It was them two. It was them two that did it. And then I actually got like, wow, like if this was a God wink, so to speak. I love to help people. My humanitarian spirit and my soul comes from my mom. So I was like, okay, this is natural.
Yeah.
Like this is natural what's happened. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's really dope. And I definitely like that. I love what you're doing, because I can tell you, man, I worked the last office that I worked in. We had an IED machine or AED machine. And bro, I don't know how to operate it. And I would walk past that thing every single day, and nobody ever, like, we never had a class on it. Like, it was never nobody even like mentioned like, hey, this is an AED machine. This is what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just see it on the wall.
Yeah.
But 2.5 years, bro, nobody ever even said anything about it, So,
and that's the thing. I mean, it's, now you're talking about resources and getting in certain communities, and like even just the time. Like, one thing I know from situations like this, because I'm not situation, but missions like this, if you will, is it's not sexy, right? We're talking about people dying, and saving them. The best way, in my opinion, you can do it is, meet them where they're at. What happens? Think about the person you care about the most, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying, you probably don't. I'm not saying you don't care, but it's like, I've never known.
Right.
And one of the things that they do now too, they're expensive, but they're trying to make them where I know nothing about the AED. I know I'm supposed to use AED. Let me go ahead and open this. And so, like, we have one of our sponsors, Zoll. You press the button and it tells you what to do, and most of them do.
Okay.
It's like a, AED on, and then it goes to the next thing, analyzing heartbeat, or, see if they're breathing, call 911, certain like things like that. It's kind of simple. But if you're like me, I need to know everything before I turn that thing on, because I'm gonna shock myself.
Yeah,
definitely, man.
Right.
That would be great to have those instructions, because I mean, you got when you got something like that, piece of machinery that you never operated before, it's good to have those like broken down instructions,
Yeah.
So listen, man, we're into, how we got everything started, and obviously the reasoning behind it. So you and your team, you guys host a gala for the foundation annually. And I've been to several, man, and I just tell you, man, I'm overwhelmed with not only the turnout, but just, the sponsors and the funding that you guys, you have so many people that with warm hearts. I mean, professionals, doctors, CEOs. I mean, people that I've met from all over Charlotte, what I'm saying, that's kind of like chipped in to help out with this thing, man. So how has it been, hosting your gala, each year, and getting sponsors and funding for the foundation. What's that process like?
So I'm gonna answer your question, Greg. But Cam, you probably don't know this. Greg, you don't know this either. So you came to my event. I think it was I don't think you know this. That was only my second event. Was 4 or 5 years ago,
something like that.
And so, Cameron, I couldn't put my bow tie on. So it's probably 5-10 minutes before it starts, and I was dating a young lady at the time, Tiara. Shout out to her because she helped a lot with the foundation. I don't even know how it happened. I think I'm in there trying to get the bow tie. Greg, being the guy he is, he was like, your wife was friends with the young lady or Tiara.
Yeah.
And he comes behind me and he just ties the bow tie. And I'm thinking in my head, like, man, I'm supposed to be the guy at the event. I can't even tie my own damn bow tie. And I'm thinking in my head, like, man, I hope this dude, like, I hope he don't think nothing else. But anyway, I thought that was a funny story. So shout out to you, Greg. But it's been cool. It's been cool. One thing I think about a lot is, on a serious note, I always wanted half the stuff that I'm getting now playing basketball. So if that makes sense. So basically, from individuals supporting what I do, and I'm not saying family and them didn't, but individuals supporting what I do, to documentaries, which I'll talk about here in a second, to it's been one of those things where it's just awesome. And I have a lot of that I owe to, my team and people around me.
Yeah.
So Dr. Maida, who knows and pretty much took me under his wing, to my mother, who is out in the community. It's been pretty cool, but it's also been it's been hard too. I know you guys you have a podcast, so you can respect this. Those entrepreneurial nights, they have you crying, they'll have you frustrated. I'm ready to quit, all that. And in a lot of ways, when I first started, I was, sometimes embarrassing because, I'm trying to tell you something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And, I may see my stuff on the ground or whatever the case may be. So it's been really cool to see the progression.
Right.
And trusting the process, loving the process. I'm thankful. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. This, I mean, like I said, I'm just overwhelmed with just everyone that's contributed to it. And, you tell that bow tie story, but man, that's just who I am. Like, I don't judge anything, anybody at the time of doing that. I'm still looking up to, what I'm saying? It's just like one brother helping another, because I learned so much that night, man. Just about just CPR and the process, and just meeting all different types of people, man. So like I said, to this day, like, I'm just like, you talked about it, I was like, I forgot all about that, man. So but it's just, I just think that it's great, man. But we'll get into that too, man. But just shout out to you for just starting this and listening to whatever divine intervention and God, and just being a vessel for folks. You know what I mean? I just think that that's dope. But
Thank man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's a I think that's a testament or a testimony right there, because what I get from that story, man, is for both of y'all. So that's an interesting dynamic, right? So Greg was coming to your event and he helped you out. It's something that to him was small, but it was a big thing for you, right?
Huge,
so, yeah. So like Greg, you just say he didn't really even remember. He's like, just something, hey, brother needed help, I helped my brother out, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's something that I'm sure you'll never forget, that because he helped you out in the time of need, big event, you were nervous, a lot of stuff going on, right? So I say that that's a testimony, because I feel like, what you do and what your foundation do will probably be the same for a lot of other people. So that's probably things that you've done for others where you thought, man, it wasn't really nothing, you were just doing what you felt in your heart, or what you felt was right. That's and good, something you might have forgot about it. And it's somebody that you impacted, that you affected, that they'll never forget about that one thing that you did that you thought was small, but to them it was a big thing.
That's good, Cam.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I just think that's a testimony, man, for anybody who heard that story just now. So yeah, that's dope, man.
But I know that recently talked about, and we appreciate your transparency too, just being like, it is hard, you know what I mean? Just, with entrepreneurship in itself, you know what I mean? There's plenty of times where, other people are resting where, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't really have that time to rest, you know what I mean? You're working, doing something else during the day, but then, saying the downtime where everyone else has downtime, you're working on your entrepreneur stuff, you know what I'm saying, or your business or your foundation in this case.
Sure.
So thanks for the transparency there, and talking about, it does get tough. What advice would you give to someone that has a similar story, maybe not the exact same thing that happened to them? They might not be an athlete, but even if they are an athlete, or if someone that's inspired in some way by something that's happened to them or something that's happened to someone they know, and they want to look to start a foundation like that, what would you say? What would you tell them, or something that, advice that you would give them starting out? Because, you've been into this thing for, several years now. And to your point, you have kind of seen things progress, and it's gotten better year after year, and it's going to continue getting better. You know what I'm saying? But what would you say to them?
That's a great question, Greg. Honestly, I would say don't quit. Trust what you have. Trust your product. Trust everything. And at the end of the day, remember that this is your baby.
Yeah.
You're going to have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And get a team around you that you trust. And I would just say trust the process. Like, trust and don't quit. I think, Nipsey said it. Like, he didn't quit. I think he gets that question all the time. And I shout out him because, he was the Tupac of our generation, in my opinion.
Facts.
He said something that resonated with me, and they asked him, why you think you are here where you are right now? Why do you think this? Why do you think that? He was like, man, I didn't quit.
Right.
Like, I had a lot of ups and downs. I had a lot of stuff that happened. And I guess in the short term, I would say don't quit. Right.
Yeah.
I guess if you got to get into details of everything, I could go. We probably all could go on the whole list. Like, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to, So I would say simply don't quit. Like, I went through a situation of like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And I mean, I think that's in life, period.
Right.
We come to the crossroads. We come to certain situations. Even the people we're with, we're dating, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I hope I answered your question. Like, I think it's simple, man. Don't quit. And I think above all else, I should have probably said this first, is I always pray about it. I pray about everything.
Yeah.
So when the foundation happened, I prayed, like, show me, is this what you want me to do? Okay, cool. I continue to pray. I think I pray about putting tires on my car. It may sound simple and stupid or whatever, but I would say pray, keep God first, and trust the process. Don't quit, because He's gonna show you. He will definitely show you. So
man, appreciate that. No, you definitely answered the question, answered it very well.
Yeah.
I think that's just goes to show perseverance. Because you can have a passion for everything, but if you don't have perseverance, if you don't have a work ethic in it, regardless of the passion, you know what I'm saying, you might not put that work in. And then, to your point, listening to what you feel like the plan is, right? You pray about it, you ask God, like, okay, show me, like, is this what I'm supposed to do? You're like, because if not, I can move on and do something else. But obviously, you're listening to what the plan is supposed to be and continue to move forward. So
yeah, definitely. So, we talked about the gala, and earlier you mentioned that you're, especially after the pandemic, you're not looking to get, you're not looking to ask, just everybody for donations, right? So what's your process as far as like getting funding and getting donations? What type of things do you do? What's that process look like, and who are you looking to get funding from?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll start with just regular fundraising events. If we have a gala, one thing we do is obviously we have our process of, what's going to be the most effective time.
Yeah.
There's a method, right? I'm pretty sure there's a method to podcasting, right? What times you put it out, what times, on social media that you need to put your stories out.
Yeah.
So we figure out first and foremost, just from that particular standpoint, from the gala, what is it what time is going to be best? We find at the end of the years are the best. Most corporations, and I'm only speaking to galas and big donors at this point. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. We find that, at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. So the end of the year, sometimes, if I remember correctly, they're trying to get rid of their budgets, right? But a lot of times, we find that their budgets are exhausted, right? And we need to talk to them at the beginning of the year. So it could go both ways. So as far as the timing, that's important. I think the second thing is to going after other individuals that have your same mission. So if I have an individual that had a sudden cardiac arrest, if I had an individual that may be interested, I want to reach out to them. And a lot of times we're not asking for money, so to speak. We want to invite you to our organization. So my approach in the beginning was, of course, to get funding, but hey, come to the gala. Here's some free tickets. Here's a free table. Invite some people, some big donors, hopefully, but this is some individuals that you think may be influential, or individuals that may have, some interest around sudden cardiac arrest. And then let's just see what the Omar Carter Foundation has going on. Nobody knew who I was.
It's just I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying, to your point, to just bring people in is the investment. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Just let's get you here. Let's bring you to the table so you can see what we're talking about. And guaranteed, if this is something that you're serious about, you're gonna jump on it, because it's gonna be something that you're gonna be interested in, or you're not. You know what I'm saying? So
correct. So we that's the first and foremost, and then I won't go into every single detail, but it's you have certain packages, certain sponsorship packages, stuff we promise. We make sure that we get you out, see what the foundation is doing, the numbers we've trained, so on and so forth. As far as whether you're a big donor or not, what I'm about to say, whether you're a big donor, you get 50 cents or $10,000. Our thing is, how do you want to be most impactful? We ask for time. So give us your time. Come out and volunteer. If there's something you love doing with the foundation, you want to sit on the board or sit on the committee, we've had that as well. Money is not the only thing that we do ask for. Obviously, it's one thing that makes it go around and that we like. But time is also a big thing, because some people value time more than anything else. Whether it's, like I said, a mother, father, or a daughter, or friendship, or in a relationship. Time is a valuable commodity. And if you give me your time, I know you're invested, and that may translate into other dollars.
Right. That's good.
And so I guess to answer your question, one of our things is to make sure what the Omar Carter Foundation is doing, what we're about, where we've been and where we're going. And then once you know that, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Email me. If you think you got enough information on the website, fine. We're going to make sure that we give you information of how many people we train, programs that we have, so on and so forth. And I think, that's the sale. And I hate to say sale, but I honestly feel like you're constantly selling yourself in life, whether it's, you're the boss, you're the CEO, or in your relationship. I have to sell you to like me, if that makes sense, in my opinion. Like I have, so answer your question, time and just getting in contact with us. Like so.
Okay. No, I appreciate you answering that. And you brought up some good points, and, selling, everything is selling. I feel like anytime, anything, if you're in business, entrepreneurship, even including, nonprofit, your whole thing is selling. If you're the owner, you're the entrepreneur, like all you're doing is selling, really. Like that's your main job. So no, that's good stuff. And, to the point, it made me think about something that I read. I read in a book where they were talking about, I can't remember which book it was, but they were talking about the Girl Scouts, right? So there's this one founder or fundraiser for the Girl Scouts. I can't remember her name either, but she's like a really big fundraiser for the Girl Scouts, right? And she gets a lot of money, a lot of funds raised, and I think somebody was asking her, like, how do you raise so much money for the Girl Scouts, whereas everybody else that's trying to raise money, they're not getting nearly the amount of money you're getting? And she was like, when I'm going to sell it, I'm not talking about the technical things, I'm telling the stories. She said, people don't want to hear people don't want to hear that, you know, we're taking the Girl Scouts out camping and doing whatever, and they're teaching and learning all these things. They want to know that, you know, that Susie is now, because of the things that she learned, she is now the CEO at such and such company. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they want to see pictures and they want to know the story and like what is happening with these girls. And she's like, that's the thing that that sells it the most. And when she tells those stories, people are more willing, like, oh wow, like, so y'all really making an impact. And that's when they start to give their money, give their time, XYZ.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's authentic too. I think individuals can tell if you're authentic or not.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I feel like that book is I think Outliers. I feel like I've read that.
Yeah.
Like, it was a sequence of chapters where they tell you different stories and like the outcomes. I feel like I read that book.
It might have been Outliers. I read that book so long ago, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I can't remember all the stories in it, but yeah, the Outliers got multiple different stories in it. I remember the one I always remember is the one we talked about, the rice, you know, the Chinese people, how they good at math, right?
From yes.
And then there's a 10,000 hour story. Of course, that's one a lot of people talk about that one a lot too, comes from that book. So yeah, that's a great book, man. Outliers. If I haven't read that, check that one out. It's a good book.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, that was a really good question, Cam, and I think that's a good segue too for like this next question, basically. So, and in regards to, you know, people wanting to know, like, how is this helping, or how is this helping people improve or become better, you know what I'm saying, to the Girl Scout story, how many people, or have you guys, as far as numbers, has the Omar Carter Foundation helped? Because I know, you know, you mentioned previously, you know, to the goal is 1 million, and I'm sure you get to that goal, it's going to be an additional goal. So do you guys have any numbers right now? And what's the next goal for Omar Carter Foundation?
Yeah, it's funny. We just had our board meeting last week, so I actually got those numbers together. So I want to be clear when I mention this, the number that I'm about to give you is strictly face-to-face interaction, where we have a lot of, you know, we're in the age of digital, you know, stuff. So we're trying to figure out now, you know, what constitutes the number of trainings, right? We're trying to figure out, hey, if I train you over video and I'm giving you the techniques and you're taking something from it, and then if that's shared 10,000 times, does that constitute as a training? And what we say, yes.
Right.
So anyway, that's you know, that's a whole nother thing that we're working through now. But face to face, from, you know, when we started to now, is 10,300 and I think 60. I think it's like it's 10,300 for sure. Which is pretty cool. And if you look at the grand scheme of things, that is not nowhere near a million people. Right. So what we're doing now is we're trying to figure out how can we almost, I want to be very careful when I say this, but franchise out. Mm-hmm. And so what we've done is we have a program called Omar's Ambassadors, or it's basically how we're taking a lot of our stuff to college campuses. And so Appalachian State is one place that we were piloting it. We've been piloting it for about 2 or 3 years. Obviously with COVID, everything's been put on hold. Yeah. And so we have a train-the-trainer model. If I teach you bystander CPR and then the other individual teaches that person bystander CPR, and we have the ambassadors, we don't physically have to be there. Right. We have pretty much a group of individuals, and that's gonna go on its own. That's a wheel that, you know, we've invented, doesn't have to be reinvented again. So if that goes from 5 to 10,000, cool. And if we franchise that out, so to speak, we'll reach our number. So I know you didn't ask me that part, but, you know, I thought it was important to say, you know, how are we going to get to that million? So we're figuring it out, and also I think it's a good way to reach those college campuses, because that's where we're seeing it the most. I mean, we saw the other day, I think the Olympian, I think it was, it just went down. And then the Florida kid, basketball player had a cardiac arrest.
Right.
So
I didn't hear about those.
And yeah, that's wild, man. And continue prayers for them and those people. You know what I mean? Just continue that we're thinking about them and everything. But I think it's good to reiterate your point regarding, you know, not literally franchising, but you know, just to how can we affect the most people? You know what I'm saying? And I know that at that. How can we affect the most people efficiently and effectively? To your point, so you know what I mean. I think that's the point that we want to get out about that, man. And you know, over 10,000, man, and continue. You know, it's still an amazing number. You know what I'm saying? You guys should feel very proud. I'm proud of you, and you know, you and your team should feel very proud. You know, because like I said, I mean, just from the time that you guys started up until now, I mean, progress is progress. So you just have to look at it from that perspective, man. So
that's an excellent idea, man. The ambassadors and a trainer model. That's going to be the best way, I think, for you all to get that out. So I mean, that's an awesome idea. Whoever, if that was your idea, whoever on the board thought about that, man, that's a great. And,
it was the team. I can't take credit. It was the team.
And I can tell you, man, just to kind of give you an example, I know it's the same thing that the military does, right? So, of course, I'm in the military. So one thing we do, and I can give you a perfect example. I took a class, basically like a trainer class, right? So I train. It's a level 1, level 2 thing. So like I took a level 2 course, maybe like a month ago, and then maybe 2 weeks ago, I taught. So in my class, it was like 20 people in that class. But then I just a couple of weeks later taught the level 1 class, and I taught 40 people in that class. So, you know what I mean? I taught one person taught double the people that was in my class that issue, or that training. So, I mean, if you can do that same thing with the Omar Carter Foundation and y'all's training, man, that's going to be awesome for you.
Facts.
And then just doing that with the schools, that's smart too. If y'all can reach out to those schools, definitely.
And then it's, to Cam's point, it's also utilizing your resources too. I think to both of you guys' point, we're talking, I mean, look at how we're doing this interview right now. Like, this is the digital age.
Exactly.
So it's like, how can we continue to affect people if we can't be with them face-to-face, circumstance, certain things come up, but how can we still teach folks? And how can we still branch this out and continue to teach? And you know what I mean? Because we used to buy CDs back in the day, and people used to get credit for their purchase by buying CDs. Yeah, you can't get credit for your CD purchases. So now it's streaming. So it's kind of like that same type of situation, right? You know what I mean? It's like, how can we still count this as a number as far as like the person that we've taught, but then it's still it's kind of like that. So I think that's a good.
And I think I heard of that, Cam, if I'm not mistaken. Is it the AAA model? Is that what it's called?
Well, I don't know. We don't really call it that in the military, but
Okay. My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, it's basically
similar. Okay.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, but trainer thing, and that's how the military trains. So there's always like multiple levels of training. So if you go to a higher level, you become the trainer, and then you teach everybody else the lowest level of the training.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But nah, man, that's good stuff. So. Now, with that being said, man, you're doing a lot right now. How do you balance, just bought the house, newlywed, and I don't know if you got another job, if you got another career outside of the foundation, but, how are you balancing everything?
That's a good question. So my wife has a lot to do with that. So the foundation is, I'll just tell you, it's nights and weekends.
Okay.
So it's a lot. But my 9 to 5, by day, I'm an accountant. So I'm a property accountant at a company now. And I work was like 7 to 3, 6:30 to 3:30. And then I actually help, with the foundation. Not help, but I do the foundation, and I help with other avenues as well. So really, man, to be honest with you, it's a good balance, because when I'm at home, I try to be at home. But also it's kind of hard too, and I'm sure you guys can appreciate it. Like, when you're an entrepreneur, like, you're at home, but it's like, I'm gonna give my undivided attention to. I mean, honestly, right now it's just my wife. I'm giving my undivided attention to my wife. I don't have any kids yet.
Yeah.
So the balance is I'm constantly working,
Right.
but I try to like stop at a certain time in the night. And honestly, when we were going through our, and I'm only speaking about my wife because that's who I need to give my time to right now. Our pastor basically said, try to have an hour or two where it's just y'all. It's 2 hours at a time. I think it's an hour, but we try to give a little bit more. I'm very intentional of, we have Saturday night date nights. And she's a real one because Friday she deemed husband's choice Friday, so I can. I know, right?
Hey man, hold on. Repeat that for all the listeners out there. I don't know. I don't think they heard that one, man. You can run that back if you feel like it, bro.
So it's funny because we were out drinking one night, and I said, "What'd you say?" And she was like, "Yeah, you heard me right." So I'm like, "Yeah, we drinking." But
toast to that.
It's been. I said the same thing. So it's husband choice Friday. Saturdays, we try to do date night as much as we can. But she's actually in law school, and the reason I bring that up too is because our relationship has been, just a tad bit. We sacrificed a lot within a year and a half than, individual sacrifice probably within a longer span of time. All that to say, we both have to figure out how to balance. So it's a little bit easier because not only does she understand what I have going on, she has her own stuff going on.
Right.
Law school it's over. So we have like summers in December. So it's a little bit easier. To answer your question, it's a little bit easier.
Good.
I just thought it was important to give some context of everything. So
that's good. That's good.
Appreciate that, man. And that's it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's you put out some gems. I think that's some good information for anybody that's looking for that balance. Because I realized I had to do the same thing because it's hard. Because I got my girl and I got my daughter. She's 7, so it's like you're trying to balance I got the job. I'm not getting a lot of times I'm not getting home until 6:00 at night some nights, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you only got a couple of hours with the kid before she has to go to bed for school the next day. Summer now it's a little bit different, but she only got a couple of hours. So it's like, how do you spend that time with her? Get some time in with your lady, and then still do your entrepreneur stuff. So it can be tough. It's a constant, like I'm constantly trying to work it.
It's just being very intentional with everything. And that's why when I first did it, honestly, as far as the Saturdays, date nights, I didn't think we needed it in the beginning, but I said, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. And then, she had deemed the Fridays, the husband choice Fridays, and then everything else, obviously, all of it's not a bonus, but it's always good when you be able to just find time. So
it's to both of you guys' point and to Cam, like both of you guys touching on, everybody can relate to that. I think it's 3 things that you said, man, that I think about, thinking about, my wife and thinking about my kids and trying to do the same thing. It's being intentional, like that one word, because that keeps even when you have it written on your calendar, whether you have it written electronically, you have it written down like old school, even if you have it written down intentionally means that you have it in your mind, like, okay, I need to keep my family, my new wife, my girl, my kid, whatever situation you got going on. And this men and women, I need to keep that in the forefront so that I'm giving enough time to where it's supposed to be. I'm out here, I'm trying to get it and I'm trying to accomplish certain things because, we all have certain goals, but at the same time, like being intentional. Then to your point, being blessed with individuals that understand what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's big too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for her to understand, for you to understand, like I'm sure, I know you said law school is done, but it wasn't done before. And I'm sure that was strenuous, just like doing, what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that process being strenuous. And then, the communication piece. I think that's being able to talk and like let people know, like, hey, I got this going on this particular day or what have you. People don't get mad about what you have going on. People get mad about being left in the dark.
Absolutely.
People get mad about, you know what I'm saying? If you don't communicate what you're doing, then there's an issue. But if you communicate, can't nobody say anything. It's like, okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. That's good there, man. And man, we not gonna keep you, man. This has been amazing, bro. You've been dropping gems since we started. But I do have to ask, like, who or what inspires you at this point, and what do you have next? And it doesn't have to be, foundation related, but it can be. But what do you have next for yourself, and what inspires you?
My foundation is the Bible. I think I would say I'm very intentional and I'm human, but reading, praying. Obviously, I have my lady here that does it with me. So,
So,
my inspiration comes from striving every day to be what the Lord needs me to be. And it may sound as cliche but it's the truth. I get scared of ultimately, not fulfilling what I'm supposed to fulfill here. So that's what inspires me to keep going,
Right.
honestly. And I think, I'm sorry, what's your next question?
No, I mean that was it, man. Just like what inspires you, and I think you answered that perfectly.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm not scared to say it like that. It's funny because I talk with one of my friends and we were the same in the sense of like once a year I just sit back and I just think like, man, what is this life? Like, how are we here? Like what's going on? And that probably may not make sense to a lot of people, but I just, that's how I stay grounded. That's how I stay inspired. The next move for the foundation is so I can say this, we've been working on a documentary for ESPN E60 for about 2.5 years.
Wow.
And so a good friend of mine is featured in the documentary. I don't want to give it away, but he's featured in the documentary. Greg, you actually may know. We could talk about it off the recording, but it is coming out, I think, in October. So right now we're making my thing has always been to make sure that everything's in place, which I know it is, but making sure the foundation is in place, making sure, when we do get the traffic, God willing, the foundation order of business is in place. So the documentary basically talk about our friendship, what happened with me, almost like an awareness piece. And then, moving forward, what happened with my life, like what I went through, and then bringing awareness to pretty much the public. So right now we've been told, hopefully it's going to come out on ESPN E60 here soon. If not, it'll be on Outside the Lines. So to answer your question, that's the next thing for the foundation. And then honestly, coming back to some type of normalcy. Like, I don't think anything will be normal, but what's the new norm, I guess you could say, with fundraising, how we're going to, effectively talk with individuals. Are we going to go back to face, which I think we will. We started it. But what role that's going to play and continue our mission, honestly. So I guess the big thing is the ESPN piece, but then also just, stand level and trying to figure out, our next move. So.
Yeah, that's very, very dope, man. Congrats on that, by the way.
Hey, definitely congrats. Very, very dope, man. That opens up a whole slew of other questions that I have for you, but
I got number time. So
I'll say that for the next. I'll say that for our second interview.
Hey man,
we'll do that in the future.
We can run it back to a part 2. It's nothing.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it though, man. That's super dope. That's super dope. Yeah. Definitely keep us informed. Let us know when it drops. I'm sure you'll be promoting it. I'm gonna definitely run to watch that, man.
Okay, appreciate you.
I do have one question, man. I gotta ask you before we go into the next segment. You talked about your wife was actually there, on the court when you collapsed that day. So, and now y'all married. She's your biggest supporter. Give us the story there.
Everything, yeah. Man, it's the wildest thing. Again, me talking about it and you guys asking, because you guys asked the right questions, and I'm putting it together like, yeah, this is crazy. But it was another God wink. So my wife, so I just found this out. So the night it happened on July 9th, her brother, my brother-in-law now, played basketball. It's really good, actually. Matthew Ward is his name.
Okay.
And then my lady is Morgan Ward, but obviously Morgan Carter now.
Yeah.
And so it was her 21st birthday. And Matthew, her brother, was playing in the game, and then her mom was at the game. And so Matthew told me, because we never even talked about it, but apparently he had just got subbed out of the game and I collapsed. And so they're really close, knitted family, which I think is beautiful in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
And so Morgan, my wife, was going to pick up her brother and her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so she tells this story better than I do, but she's going to pick him up. She's going to pick up, and she was like, I'm calling. Nobody's picking up the phone. I'm mad. It's my 21st birthday. Like, I want to party, which rightfully so. You're 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And so when I initially, so just to back up a little bit, my brother-in-law, Matthew, subbed out the game. Miss Claudia is her name. She was in the stands. And so when I initially went down, she had like kind of went over to see what was going on, and I'm laying out, and she mentioned, like, you know, everybody was saying, don't touch him. Like, no, don't touch him. And she was like, she basically said, I don't know what y'all doing. This man's not breathing. I'm about to start doing compressions.
Right.
And so she started doing the compressions, and then she said, Kelly Thomas, who, you know, pretty much has been deemed the person to save my life, which I think is both of them. She started doing the compressions. So anyway, the story goes on to her mom still not picking up the phone. Morgan's like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And so they kind of walk, she's outside. So all this is happening. She's outside the gym, and, you know, both of them are still in the gym, and they're kind of walking over slowly, and Morgan's like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, she was like, I think she said she only seen her mom cry like 3 times in her life, something like that. And she just started bawling, crying. And, you know, Matthew, my brother-in-law, hugged her, and she finally told Morgan, like, you know, I just saved this guy's life. Like, you know, I hope he's okay. So fast forward to, now mind you, again, we didn't know, for everybody, you know, listening and you guys, we didn't know each other. This was 2013. So 2019, which was 6 years later, we met, and I added her on Facebook. And so when I added her on Facebook, before we actually had our first date, she was like, you know, this is the guy. She told her mom, this is the guy I'm going out with. And she was like, I'm scrolling through, and he has this foundation, and like, this just sounds a lot like the guy you told me 6 years ago.
That's crazy.
And then she was like, what's his name? She was like, Omar Carter. And Miss Claudia was like, that's the guy. And she was like, no that's way.
Right.
And so she says I did this. I don't remember, but when we first meeting, she said I canceled on her twice. And she was like, one of the only reasons I wanted to meet you is because I needed to tell you. And so we met, and you can imagine us meeting for the first, 2 or 3 minutes. Because we got our food, we sat down, and you know how guys are. You try. I'm not. She don't know this. I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm like, how was your day? The BS. I ain't got no game.
Right.
And I'm glad she interrupted me 2 or 3 minutes. She was like, I gotta tell you this. I know who you are. And I'm like, all right. Did you date one of my friends? You got AIDS? Like, what's up?
Right.
Well, AIDS is wrong. I should have said that, but you know what I'm saying. And she told me the whole story. I don't know why. It was something crazy. Like, I immediately believed her, because I had some stuff earlier where people was like, oh yeah, I know who you are, like whatever. And I guess what put the icing on the cake was her mom 2 years later messaged me on Facebook, and I was like, at this time I was like, did I read it? She was like, nope. And we were talking about you, and I was like, wait, let me go to it.
Yeah.
So, Facebook Messenger, and I think Instagram adopted it later. You got if they're not your friends, it goes to the requested messages.
Yeah.
And when I went to the requested messages, they saw that I didn't read it, and there it was. She was like, hey, I'm Claudia, blah, blah, blah. Like, I helped you. Like, I saw you on TV. I wanted to see how you were doing, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And that's how it happened. Like, I think we went out on a Wednesday. It was September 9th, 2019. So whatever day that was. And we pretty much been together ever since, which is, you didn't ask me this, but I just mentioned, like, it was weird because September to December, we're in like the talking, dating stage. February, March hit, it's COVID.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, what we gonna do here? So
yeah,
it worked out, and we're married. So
that's an incredible
Crazy.
story, man, of coincidence, but it just goes to show, like, how things come full circle.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. But super congratulations on you and you're new to you, but apparently she knew you, so
Right.
so she already knew what time it was, but knew
that's
life, man. That's amazing, bro, and that's a great story. But super happy for you guys, and congratulations for sure, man.
Yeah, man.
Sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Appreciate you.
obviously it those first few dates must have went well, because I mean, even through the pandemic, man, y'all decided to get engaged and then married.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I was going through my own personal situation before we met, and just trying to, in a lot of ways, I won't say find myself, but you know how that goes. So when the pandemic happened, or right before the pandemic, I'm trying to think. We had like one outing we went on. And then it's funny enough, I actually be my girlfriend in October. So September, October, a month later, I pretty much kind of knew.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so when we went out, the pandemic happened. It's funny. She probably gonna kill me for telling all this, but my lease was up, and I was just like, well, the pandemic happened, and I'm not going over to my house. I'm scared. All the doors you got to go enter, and the key fob and all that. So it was kind of a blessing too, because we got the best of both worlds. I'm still getting to know you. You seeing the worst of me and the best of me. In that short amount of time. She wanted to go to law school, so we're sacrificing a lot. I said, okay, this is what it is. And I'm the type with the Lord, like, Lord, like, don't show me a sign. Like, punch me in my face and show me, like, this is what you need. Like, I need it intentional, and he did that. So punch me in my face probably wasn't the right analogy, but you know what I'm saying.
I got you. Nah, that's good. That's good, man. That's good, man.
But go ahead and jump into this segment, man. Where we City of Savages, man. We pride ourselves on, and we think it's very important that we have all of our guests, man. We have a segment that we call "Give You Your Flowers," and it's just important for us to acknowledge the people that we have in our community that are making a difference, that are being impactful, using their story, man, to help others, man. And it's just, again, like I said, I mean, I know we met years back, man. We all first started going to college, man, but we didn't really know, but then, really know each other like that. But man, as you grow into men that are, moving into their purpose, man, I truly feel like this, this is a part of your purpose. Even if, you're meant to do so much more, bro, this is a part of your journey. And we just want to say here at City of Savages, man, thank you for, sharing your story with the world, but not even sharing your story with the world, man, but helping so many people, and, just prevent situations like this from happening in the future, where, people don't understand or, know how to use the AED or know how to do, chest compressions or anything like that, man. You are literally, you felt like you were given a second chance, and you're not taking that for granted. And man, we just want to shout out to that, man, because you were like, I'm here, by the grace of God, and I just want to be able to use myself and my story, my testimony, in order to help others, man. So with this foundation, it's beautiful, man. I've each time I go, man, I just enjoy being a part of it. I'm going to continue to support you and the foundation, and your wife and your family, man. So just shout out to you guys, and continue doing what you're doing, man. Continue pressing forward. Shout out to your special that you will do with with ESPN, man. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm gonna be right there. Hopefully I can convince my missus to get me a bigger TV before that happens, man. That's what I really want, man. I need me a huge TV or a projector.
Thanks.
But yeah, man, just shout out to you, man. I'm super inspired by you, bro. Continue to level up, man. Like, we literally look at people like you as heroes, man. Not all heroes wear capes, bro. So appreciate
you. Love, man. I appreciate it. That's love.
Yeah, man. And just want to second that. And a lot of people, everybody don't get second chances, So I commend you for taking that second chance, and just taking the advice from your mom to use that chance to help other people, man. So it's so dope. And just keep going, you know, like you said, never give up, man. Keep going, keep pushing, and you're gonna hit that million mark, man.
Oh
So
man, I appreciate you. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's been an honor. And
for sure.
Cam, I think I lost memory, man, but you know, obviously both of you guys through JT.
Yeah.
I knew you, and then you know, Greg, you already seen my journey from you know helping me out with my bow tie and coming to the foundation all the way up until now. You've seen my progression in life,
Yeah.
which we won't have to get into, but also my progression, you know, as a businessman. So it's love. I appreciate it. And then at the end of the day, man, y'all two black males trying to make a difference. So you know, to be able to be on this platform is amazing. So I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
And
yeah, we definitely gonna stay in touch because I got some ideas, some bigger things coming up, man, and we gonna get you involved.
Okay, for sure. I'm there.
And like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know this won't be your your first and last time as a guest, because you know we want you back, man, after you do your special. We definitely want you back after you get your million. So we probably gonna run this back several times. But there's one thing I want to touch on, man. You know, it's to you, but it's also to the people that's helped you. I just think that's great. I mean, you've given flowers, you know, over this interview portion to people that have kind of assisted you along the way. So I just think it's important, man, to shout out all of your sponsors, everyone that assists with the Omar Carter Foundation. I feel like it's way too many to name, but I just want you guys to know that we are thankful for you. We're thankful for Omar and and your assistance with them and being willingness to help out, you know, whether you gave, 50 cents or 5,000, and people that continue to contribute. We just know how special, how important it is to be thankful for the people that's kind of reached back and kind of assisted and helped you up, you know what I'm saying, and so to speak. So we've all had people that's helped us to that point and help us get to where we are. So it's just I just think it's important, man, to be grateful and shout out those folks that just have gotten to us to where we're at, you know what I'm saying? So
I couldn't have said it better myself.
But not gonna stay there, man. We're gonna jump into our final segment real quick, man, because we know we got to get you up out of here. Last segment's called Fab Five. Okay, so basically we shoot out 5 questions to you real quick, pretty much to kind of like break the monotony. And it's kind of fun questions real quick and get the audience get to know you a little better and us too, because we ask questions that we don't know. So but I'm gonna let Cam go ahead and start it off, man.
Yes, sir. So question number 1, what was the last song you listened to?
Man, what was the last song I listened to? Man, I'm a Her fan.
Okay.
So what's the Her? I think it's the first song on her album.
Honestly, I have to look it up.
This first song on the album, or like her first single?
It's the first song on the album.
Oh, dang, what's that? I listened to it earlier too.
Damage is my joint, but I'm looking at it now. We made it.
Okay, yeah.
We made it.
Y'all was listening to Her. What y'all got going on? Hey, bro. Everybody else might not say it, but I'm gonna say it right now. Like,
hey, listen,
I'm gonna bring y'all out. Y'all both.
Hey, if you
Her
listen,
okay.
Listen, if you
y'all got some wine in y'all hand.
Listen, if you rock with R&B, listen, if you rock with R&B and you ain't listening to Her, I don't know what you're doing, man. You ain't really
man, it's funny because when I thought about it, I'm like, man, these things gonna think I'm soft, but it's the last song I listened to. Like,
nah.
I don't care, man.
Shout out to you for being 100. That's the whole reason we asked that question, because we want the honest answer. So
trust me, a lot of times.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of times we surprised when we ask that question, but hey, I ain't tripping. Listen, I listened to Her, Doja Cat, and Tyler the Creator today. So
Doja Cat, I can't get into it. I respect you, but I like good music, man. I'm a soul guy at heart, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, and my lady is funny because she only like soul. She ratchet too, but she only likes soul stuff. So Her, man, we made it.
Okay,
but
and she got a little special on Amazon too. I'm a visual guy too, so I need to see visuals. Her got a little 30-minute whatever.
I got you. Well, listen, y'all got my dog is
Oh,
my dog.
good.
She likes to be with me. So for our listeners, just anyway.
I'm
So
here. That's what she's saying. I'm here.
Yeah.
exactly. So what's a book that you would recommend, or a favorite book that you have, or something that you've read recently?
Outliers. And then there was another one, The Shack. So
Okay.
I know you said one. I'm gonna go with The Shack. Let's just go with The Shack because we talked about outliers. Long story short, The Shack was, The Shack is one of the guys that didn't believe in God, and he spends a weekend with Jesus, with the Lord. But it's not a book you think about, and I won't give it away. But his wife believes in the Lord. He doesn't. His daughter ended up getting kidnapped and killed. It sounds more. It's crazy. They actually came out with a movie. But The Shack, it's a good book, good Christian book too.
I have to be completely honest here. I have a copy of The Shack. I bought it years ago, and I have not read it.
It would change your life.
So I have it. So the next time we talk, man, hold me accountable, and you need to ask me. Okay, forget it. What you're talking about? Have you read it? So
okay.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that one, so I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, good book.
Yeah. All right. So question number 3: what's your favorite? What's a new skill that you picked up during the pandemic?
And I've done a lot. I was about to say cutting grass, but I gotta think about that one. Can we come back to that one? I'm sorry. I gotta figure that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So question number 4 is something on your bucket list that you want to accomplish, and we can say before the year is out, or we can say a year from now.
Y'all gonna think I'm corny. I want to go on The Price is Right.
Okay.
No, that's actually really cool, bro.
That's dope.
I want to go on The Price is Right, and there's one other Family Feud.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put Family Feud and Price is Right first.
Okay, so Family Feud first. Okay.
Family Feud.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what y'all need to do. This would be dope now. So you know how all y'all boys, all the CSU basketball players link up every year. Y'all need to go on the Family Feud together.
That would be really dope.
They would be ready for us, man. That is wild.
That would be really dope.
You know them. Y'all know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Nah,
man, shout out Shelton, Keys, Ali, Duval, Rio.
Yeah.
JT, I'm missing you. They all of them, man.
That's good. That's good.
Nah, that'd be dope though. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I think, man, listen, I think anybody who grew up in our era, if you spend some time with your grandma, your granddad, and you watch The Price is Right in the morning, bro, I know you've thought about going on the show before.
You had to, bro. But Bob Barker was the GOAT, bro.
Wasn't he? And Jeopardy, man. But the only reason I say Jeopardy is because I don't feel like I want to study, to go on there.
Right.
That'd be cool just to sit in the audience,
Yeah. That's dope. All right. So question number 5: who's going to win the NBA Finals this year?
My boys ain't in it, so I don't even know, man. I'm a Warriors fan, but I'll say this. I appreciate everything that's going on with the finals now. And I don't know if we missed basketball so much during the pandemic that, I've had a different light on it, if that makes sense. I've always been the guy playing basketball. I've never been a fan.
Yeah.
So I've always been a fan, but strictly a fan. So all that to say, that Trae Young, man, he playing good ball.
Oh yeah.
So it's good to see him playing. Devin Booker and CP3 getting their flowers. The North Carolina, CP3 being North Carolina.
Yeah.
So if I got to answer the question, I want to see Trae Young get it because he's put Atlanta on his back.
Yeah.
But I also want to see CP3 and Devin Booker get it too because CP3 has just been getting hammered. He just had, and when I say hammered, they've been killing him. Like, is this really his legacy? Is it not?
Right.
You know, because he ain't won a championship.
Right.
But also, too, he's had bad luck just from getting injured or whatever the case may be. So
That's true.
I would say the Hawks or the Suns. I know you asked for one, but I would say them two. I want to see in the finals.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I would co-sign that. You couldn't have said it more perfect. Like, you know, I feel I'm proud of like what Trey is doing in Atlanta, but at the same time, you know, the Suns, man, they playing as a team. Their chemistry is better than any team that I've seen play so far in the playoffs. Because I mean, them boys was hooping even when CP3 was on COVID protocol.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
So they still, and they had, you know, Bridges and Payne just kind of stepped up, you know, in CP3's place. So I'm good with either one of them, man. I hope, you know, and I'm glad, you know, we got different people in the finals. I mean, shout out to the Warriors, man. I hope they come back, man, because I feel like they had an unfair season, man, with Clay being out and you know everything is going on. You know what I'm saying? So I hope they come back strong. But it's gonna be, I think it'll be an entertaining finals. But I'm pulling for either one of those teams. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Greatest, I got two for both of y'all. Greatest shooter of all time.
Ooh, greatest shooter.
I can answer this easy. And it's Steph, man. He just,
I was gonna say Steph. Yeah.
He just does things that nobody's ever seen. I feel like he changed the game. There's a lot of people that changed the game. I will put Allen Iverson in there, somebody that changed the game. I will put LeBron, and then I'll put Steph. And Michael Jordan. There's like a list of people that changed the game with
I respect
the way
that
they play.
I respect that.
So but I
even off the court, yeah.
You know, so but I'm going with Steph, man. And I think before that, it might be Ray Allen then Reggie Miller, but that's my three.
Okay.
Those are good choices. I can't pick a better three, man. But yeah, I would say Steph though. I don't think nobody messing with Steph, man.
And best player of all time.
Hey, MJ.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I gotta go MJ, man. Listen, I gotta go MJ. Now, I've had this. We've talked about this on a podcast before too. You know, and listen. Greatest, if you're gonna go greatest player of all time, I'm gonna say MJ. I honestly think that LeBron is a more talented player than Michael Jordan is, but LeBron just ain't got that dog like MJ do. Like MJ will
so let me
dominate.
do this. Let me do this. I mean to cut you off because I want to give some. I want you to understand what I define.
Okay.
And then you answer just to give you some context.
Okay. All right.
When I say greatest player, I mean what Greg mentioned, and I should have said this before. Change the game, impact. We'll just keep it on the court, and then I will go off the eye test because numbers we can get into it and all that other stuff. So still, you know, that may not change your answer, but.
Nah, I think that solidifies my answer for MJ because and the reason I say that is because you talking about impact on the court, like teams. I feel like in that era of MJ, teams like changed their strategy to play MJ, and I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know if they do that for LeBron. Like LeBron plays in a league where there's a lot of other types of players like who do different things, and I just feel like I don't know if when they come up to the court, I don't know if the Warriors like, yo, we gotta switch it up for LeBron, you know what I'm saying? But anybody that play but anybody that play MJ, they like, yo, we gotta switch it. You know, like the Pistons, like, yo, we're gonna take this dude out if we gonna win this.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
The greatest player of all time, bro, is Sam Cassell, bro. Like,
what? He's joking, right? You joking?
You gotta be joking.
Yeah, I'm joking, bro. But nah, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it, man. Nah, I'm going with MJ too, bro. Like, I don't want to sound like a broken record. It's based on everything Cam just said. So
okay, yeah, and I won't go further about this because basketball, I love it, but it's just mind boggling that, you know, people forget about Kobe when they talk about the greatest.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know, he may not be better than LeBron, but you know, they forget.
I never forget about Kobe. And if you ask me top three, he in my top three all time.
Respect. Same here.
Kobe's my top two. It's MJ, Kobe, then LeBron. Only because it's what Cam touched on. The difference that I separate between, because I think LeBron is the most all-around skilled player, to Cam's point, that nobody's ever seen. Regardless of what people like want to debate, talking about like a weak East when he was coming through the East and all this other stuff, you don't get a player that goes to the finals that many times and then to earn the championship with 3 different teams. That's a different type of greatness right there. You know what I mean? So, but that dog mentality, Kobe had that. Yeah. So I think that separates him from other great players. You know what I'm saying? For people that have like that dog mentality, that Kobe mentality, that killer instinct that I think separates Kobe and MJ from other players. That's why I put them above, you know, certain levels. You know what I mean? Because nobody thought Kobe was going to win again after like Shaq left. But he won 2 more championships. You know what I'm saying, with Paul Gasol. So it's like, you know, it's not to say that he didn't have a good surrounding cast around him. I'm not saying that at all. You can't win by yourself. But I think it's about mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Cool. So Omar, what's your answer? Who's the greatest?
MJ. It's just the era I grew up in.
Yeah.
The only thing I think he has over LeBron is he's not as massive. Like LeBron's a freak athlete.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking anything away LeBron does. Like,
right.
He's one of the greatest.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay.
But you know, you may think I'm crazy, man. Steph is about to be in that. He's about to be in that conversation.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Easily.
I agree.
Easily.
Yeah, I agree. That was up, man. So, yeah, hey, man, Omar, you know, appreciate your time, man. You know, like I said, I think we covered a lot, and we could cover a whole lot more, man. But we're gonna let you go. We're gonna get you out of here. But before we do, we ask all of our guests to drop one final gem. So, what's one last gem, one thing that you can leave our audience with, something that's gonna impact them and maybe change somebody's life? What's that one thing?
Yeah, I don't know if it will change anybody's life, but you know, something I try to stay true to, and I think you guys touched on it. But and that's, you know, stay true to yourself, trust yourself, and of course, people talk about it and they don't take it lightly. I mean, they don't take it seriously; they take it lightly, and that's keeping the Lord first.
Yeah,
like talking to Him, speaking to Him, pray, and literally praying about everything. I mean, that's pretty much my take. And whatever you do, don't quit. So I think, you know, it's one of those things where you just got to keep going and everything will work out. So if I got to sum everything up in one word, it'd be faith. Have faith and make sure you keep moving no matter what.
That's good.
Man, that's great. That's great stuff, man.
Awesome.
Go ahead, man. And again, Omar, man, appreciate you, bro. Continued success, man. And if you need anything, you know, you already know. Just let us know. You know, we and me and the family, we in the city.
Facts.
Drop your socials too. How can people get in touch with you?
Exactly.
It's simple. At Omar Carter Foundation is my Instagram, and then Omar Carter at Facebook, and then Omar Carter with 2 R's on Instagram. That's me. And then this is not to sound any type of way, no cocky or anything like that, but just Google Omar Carter and, you know, most of the stuff will come up. You know, my episode, what happened, the Omar Carter Foundation. If you want to see some highlights of basketball, again, that's not, it's just easier.
Yeah.
So Omar Carter Foundation, or Omar Carter with 2 R's, at Omar Carter with 2 R's, at Omar Carter Foundation. So
okay.
All right, man.
That's what's up, man.
I appreciate y'all.
No, I appreciate you, man. Go ahead and take us out, Greg.
Hey, man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's another episode of City of Savages podcast. Again, we had our amazing guest on, Omar Carter, man. Y'all make sure to please go and check out the Omar Carter Foundation. Check out the website, hit the IG link as well, and hit the Facebook also. So, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We can't wait to drop this episode. Y'all make sure, please, to like, share, comment on the episode as well. Please visit the YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't yet. And of course, this will be on all of your favorite podcast channels once we drop, man. It's been City of Savages, and we out.
Peace.